この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Are you curious where you can watch the latest episode of Kamen Rider and Sentai every week? Well, since there is no official release, you might have to resort to alternative methods. Personally, when I search for website to watch tokusatsu, my top priority is to safeguard my personal data. That's why I rely on Surfshark VPN, the sponsor of today's video. With Surfshark, your online safety and privacy is paramount as it is effective at concealing your online activities through its VPN capabilities. By encrypting your internet traffic that nobody can pry into your online endeavors or track your digital whereabouts. Additionally, Surfshark enables you to virtually explore the world with a tap thanks to its ability to change your VPN address. By switching your location to anywhere in America, let's say, you can access at least over 10 Ultraman shows and movies, or explore other toku shows available on Tokushoutsu. You can poke around at the Japanese Premium Bandai page and discover a captivating array of expensive children's toys. I highly recommend getting Surfshark VPN today, as it comes with an extra 3 months. Simply click the link in the description, and if you are unsatisfied, rest assured there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So why wait any longer? Take advantage of this fantastic offer and sign up now. It's an incredible opportunity for all of you, my fellow Tokusatsu fans. There is one thing I didn't like about episode 33. And that was the big reveal that Prince is actually Daigo's and Amy's future son. Mainly because it feels kind of cheap, to be honest. It would have been a lot cooler if he would have been just a Daigo off a different timeline. But in exception to the big reveal, this episode was really fun and continued the really great interactions between the Kyoryugers and the King-Ohgers just to a bigger and better extent. I absolutely love seeing the reaction of the Kyoryugers discover that the people of Kyoryugers Earth are their descendant, and the Kakuse's Kabuto Castle is also a spaceship, and that entire big reveal was really funny. And if I could continue on with the cast of King-Ohger and Kyoryuger having really great interactions, it was really cool to see Yoko, how much she could have totally transformed to Kyoryu Saiyan, but they didn't do it for some unapparent reason. It's like, you had her, you had the actress. We know now that the Deca Ranger 20th anniversary movie is coming out, so why you didn't do it? And also, it was really great to finally get some sort of a payoff out of a story from Kyoryuger to now with King-Ohger, with Oda and Kendarilla actually getting married, which does fit also to Jeremy's story with a human and a non-human actually like falling in love and being together. It works. Like, it's kind of funny how much Kyoryugers and King-Ohger's kind of small little bits of details work. And it's so interesting to see and kind of understand how much now both the show's lore really connect really well. Like the idea that maybe the original King-Ohger was actually run on bravery and not on Yanma's tech could be an interesting thing. The entire idea that, oh, the mural that Ian found was actually made by Jeremy's dad. Like, that's so interesting to now kind of understand that, like, oh, like those two shows are connected and their connection doesn't hurt each other. It actually kind of helps. And that moment when we heard the opening again for Kyoryuger, like, genuinely gave me goosebumps. Gosh, this episode was great. The on the ground fight scene was great. Like, I genuinely enjoyed it. It genuinely gave me like this very nostalgic feel to it. Last time I've watched Kyoryuger was like 2013, pretty much a couple of months after the show finished. So for me, Kyoryuger, seeing all of them was great. and the possibility that the King-Ohgers would return, probably with Daigo's and Uchi's actor being back after their schedule would clear up, and maybe, Yoko would be there, maybe Daigo's dad would be there, maybe we're going to get like a full-on cast reunion and just throw in Heckle. He's just going to somehow be both Def Ryuger and Kyoryu Nevi at the same time. Screw it. But yeah, like I'm happy. I'm genuinely am. And they actually had a dance. That was kind of cool. I don't know. Well, in the time that the kings made their journey back to Terra, Dudarujan and 4 out of the 5 jesters took over all of the countries, alongside a masked man that is clearly Hercules, but the show want to make it like a big old surprise when he reveals himself. Here's the thing, I was talking about Hercules joining up with Dudarujan from what? Maybe the 2nd episode after the big time skip? So like that wasn't a big reveal to me, it's like, oh, yeah, Hercules would return and he would totally be an underling to Dudarujan. But you know what? I like it. I like the idea that finally like Hercules got his like big ol' like what he wanted, his quote unquote gacha, and that is to just control over everything, because he's pretty much the king of the world. Like the other jesters don't really care, they just want to destroy stuff, and Dudarujan kind of wants to play with Hercules probably, but it is really cool, and it was really cool that we got time dilation, and it's not like they returned like straight after, like maybe a couple of days after they got teleported. So that made Dudarujan actually find Hercules and just like put him in the chair and take 4 out of his 5 jesters, because the moth guy, nobody gives a shit about him, and just like, okay, you take over the countries and you just give Hercules like everything that the other countries do, in exception to Gokhan, because Gokhan is just a prison. So it's like, I don't really understand like why they really needed to take over Gokhan. It's like, Gokhan is a prison. Gokhan can just take care of itself. Just kill Morphonia, but don't do that. But yeah, like this episode kind of sets up kind of this big kind of switch where our kings are now kind of weird citizens. So it's going to be interesting what's going to happen with them trying to reclaim the countries. And now we're kind of also returning to Gira versus Hercules. But now Hercules is an underling and not actually like the main villain. I loved seeing how Enkasopa was before Yanma got into power. Pretty much a country that is ruled by a bunch of mob bosses, which is a really interesting thing to do. Seeing Shirakawa be in the same role that he's now, but just with more bass in his voice and kind of being a piece of shit. I don't know. And it's really interesting to see how those two, Yanma and Shirakawa, kind of grew to really appreciate each other. Specifically like Shirakawa kind of like saw Yanma as this really cool guy that maybe can change Enkasopa to a better country to live in. Like so much that he would actually die to protect him. Like that was really cool. Like this entire episode was emotionally charged. It was very much about Yanma and Shirakawa and how much those two as like retainer and president, they are a lot closer than what we think. And it's like, man, like there was a point in the episode that I thought they were going to kill Shirakawa, but they didn't do it. And I was like, oh, that was great. And having Enkasopa pretty much being reduced to rebel in the end of the episode was this really interesting idea that now we can actually go out and actually maybe see Enkasopa being rebuilt in front of our eyes. and that's gonna be interesting moving forward. And also, this episode continues the great job that the show does with making Hillbill like the worst out of the jesters. Like, yeah, like each and every one of them is kind of bad, but Hillbill is the worst, and I love it. Like, her using her ability of just saying something to someone and they would do it is really cool, and putting her in Enkasopa makes sense. How much, again, Whitman didn't got anything. He's not even in the show. Like, people genuinely forgot about him. Like, there is 5 jesters. Did he just died in the last 6 months? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I absolutely love this episode. Like, but there was some stuff that I kind of found to be weird. At least one thing. And that is, like, Rita just got back Gokhan. Maybe? Like, I'm not sure about that. But that's going to be kind of interesting. Probably, like, not the next episode, but maybe 2 episodes from now to kind of understand who is really in control of Gokhan. Kamijin is cosplaying as Himeno. Clearly with, like, the thing that Kajimin loves to do with his hand. Like, putting his thumb where his jaw is and just kind of doing weird stuff with his other fingers. I don't know. That's like the only like complaint I have with like, oh, Rita got Gokhan really goddamn fast. But yeah, what did all of you thought about the last 3 weeks of King-Ohger? Comment below, let me know. Thanks for Surfshark for supporting my channel. For all of you for supporting my Ultraman Dyna video. Subscribe to my channel if you already didn't. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.